Now, as I have said before, I did not learn to type until I was in my 40s. It was a bit of a struggle to get my fingers trained appropriately, and even now, I still manage to come up with spellings that would make Mark Twain proud. Well, while doing graduate work in constitutional studies, I found myself frequently having to spell out the words United States of America. I don't know why, but more often than not, my fingers would not go where they should, and I would misspell it, and it was always the same goofy mistake. It was the word united. Instead of UNITED, I always misspelled it UNTIED. I paid little attention to that goof until one day, while composing something related to the freedoms of the Constitution, I misspelled united again, UNTIED. And then it hit me. If ever, through our bickering and party politics, if ever the United States becomes the untied states, it will be because we are no longer united. Indeed, it was Abraham Lincoln who said, "All the armies of Europe, Asia, and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own excepted, in their military chest, with a Bonaparte for a commander, could not by force take a drink from the Ohio or make a track on the Blue Ridge in a trial of 1,000 years. At what point, then, is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up amongst us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live through all time or die by suicide." End of quote. Now, my friends, I believe this is true. I believe that, as Lincoln said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Unity or union is the foremost constitutional principle. May I illustrate? Wednesday, September 12th, 1787, in Philadelphia. The Committee of Style and Arrangement returned their final draft of the United States Constitution for the delegates to the convention for their review. It has taken them nearly 5 months of intense debate to produce this document. It is fascinating now, on this date, what appeared in that final draft that had never been there before, at least not in this form. Now, as near as we can tell, there was no discussion upon this new clause, no debate. It came and was approved as it stood. That clause, virtually the last one added, would forever be the first one read. It was the preamble to the Constitution, and it read as follows: "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States." Now, just for comparison, this is what had been written in the draft just previous. "We, the people of the states of New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Providence Plantations, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, do ordain and establish the following Constitution for the government of ourselves and our posterity." Think about it. That last-minute change is momentous in meaning. Instead of being a nation of 14 distinct sovereignties, we were to be one people, one nation, united. Moreover, The paramount priority and purpose of the United States Constitution, as declared in the preamble, was to form a more perfect union. The preamble to the Constitution is the lens through which the document must be viewed. It states its purpose in the simplest of language. It is the binding thread that runs throughout and mandates how the document must be interpreted. Every law, every action, every judicial decision, if it is constitutional, is to serve those purposes announced in the preamble, and foremost amongst those is union. In a republic, there will always be differing points of view. The threat to unity is not in contrasting points of view, but in how they are expressed and why. Parties, factions, and special interests are too often mere excuses to foment discontent and disunity in order to seize power. This is why the framers considered parties a social disease. It was Washington who said, quote, "Parties are likely in the course of time and things to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men will be enabled to subvert the power of the people and to usurp for themselves the reins of government." End of quote. One of the greatest of all things common citizens may do is uphold the Constitution of the United States and refuse to be divided, to be petty, whether in our homes, states, or nation. May we be empowered to quell or crush every divisive spirit.